What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another hunting boot camp. Today I am going over the 3 keys for a successful waterfowl hunt. Number 1, and I combine these two, they could be kind of separate, but I'm just combining them for simplicity's sake, is scouting / location. Scouting is simply finding the right location for where the birds are going to be. And I don't care if it's online, I don't care if you're driving around, I don't care if you're going out right now and looking at spots that might be good in 4 months. You've got to go scout. And you got to keep scouting so you know where those birds are going to be, because it changes as the weather changes, as the season changes. You know, early season they might not use rivers as much, and then late season, once the ponds and lakes start freezing up, they might move to the river. So location is everything. Just like in real estate, it's all about location in waterfowl hunting. So that is why scouting / location is one of the most important keys to a successful duck hunt. So the second tip for a successful waterfowl hunt is concealment. And this is just simply put how well your hide is. Is your layout blind mudded in? Is your A-frame or pit blind brushed in well? Are you wearing a face mask or face paint if it's like a sunny day out, or even if it's a cloudy day? You know, something to break up the shine off your face. It's just how well hidden you are, because those birds can pick that out, especially as it gets later in the season. They can pick out things that aren't natural. Maybe just a little something shining from your blind, or a little black hole from like your pit blind lid being open a little bit, and that gives them reason to hesitate and maybe flare off your decoy spread. So making sure that your hide is flawless will ensure more birds in the future. And if you're noticing that birds are flaring off throughout the morning or throughout the hunt, don't only just look at your decoy spread, look at your hide. If you look at those two things, you should be able to pick out a reason why the birds aren't cooperating. And the third key to a successful duck hunt is your decoy spread, as I previously alluded to. Now this covers a whole wide array of things. I'm talking like motion. So if you're hunting calm day, you can have your motion ducks decoy system, or a jerk string, or like those ripplers, something to break up that sheet of glass that the water is, you know, because that's not natural. You want your decoy spread to look as natural as possible. I preach that a lot. So having that motion there on those calm days is key. It can even be something like walking around throughout the decoys every hour or so to kick up mud so the water isn't clear, you know, make it look like the ducks were feeding and swimming around in there and kicking up sediment. Having confidence decoys is another great part of your decoy spread. You know, I use coots religiously. I also use goose decoys. I know some people use swan decoys or herons or cranes. There's so many different combinations you can come up with for confidence decoys. And it's also matching what your scouting is seeing out there. You know, do you have a majority of puddle ducks? Are you seeing wood ducks out there? Are you seeing divers? Throwing out things that you're seeing out scouting rather than just the typical, you know, mallard decoys are gonna help you be more successful because it looks more realistic. And kind of breaking away from those traditional decoy spread setups, especially late in the season. You know, the ducks, they learn about the U spread and the V pattern and the J hook and all those classic decoy spreads that are successful. They definitely work, but you've got to kind of mix it up, especially late season. Kind of think out of the box and try to imitate as closely as you can what your scouting shows you. So decoy spread is another very, very important factor to a successful bird hunt, and there is so much that goes into planning a perfect decoy spread. And you know, I could make a whole video on that, but we're just doing a real quick one here. But that is why a decoy spread is the third most important key to a successful waterfowl hunt. Is, you know, you can't really have birds come in without decoys. Otherwise you're just pass shooting them. But like I kind of just said, this was just a really quick rundown, especially for people just starting waterfowl hunting. Kind of give them 3 things to think about when they're just starting out. If you're just starting out, you know, think about these 3 things: the location and scouting, the concealment, and your decoy spread. And those will give you kind of a jumping off point, and those are arguably the 3 most important in my book. Maybe you guys have some other ones that you would argue is most important. You could say calling. I would say calling, although it can add to it, I would say it's not one of the most important aspects, because you can call birds in without blowing it once on your duck call or goose call. You know, they can just cup right in. Whereas if you aren't concealed, if you're not in the right location, or you don't have a good decoy spread or a decoy spread at all, those birds aren't going to come. So there's other factors out there, but these are the 3 keys to a successful bird hunt. And that is all I have for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you out there. See ya.